Hello and welcome back. And in this video, we're gonna be working on the edit functionality or edit mode of our collection view. So let's go ahead and get started. So what we need to do basically is we need to have some sort of button here where when we click on that, collection view actually enters this state, the current state that's shown here. So let's first make sure that we have this label selected and it's actually hidden initially when it's loaded, because we don't want to show it right off when user lands on that page. So let's go ahead and hide that and run our project one more time, and there we go. So we are in a state where we were before. Okay, so that's good. Now what we can do is we can go to our view controller, and there is a ready-made functionality that's available for you. It's called editing mode or edit button. So basically there's a power button provided in all the view controllers, and all you need to do is add that button in somewhere. Basically, you can do it in nav bar somewhere, either on the top nav bar or bottom nav bar. So we can do it at the top nav bar. So we're simply going to say navigation item dot left bar button item is equal to edit button item. Okay, so if you add this edit button item in and run your project one more time, what you're going to notice is it's going to show a button. Now at this point, the only thing that it does is basically it changes back and forth, so it toggles from edit to done, but it's doing more than that in the background. So there is a function called set editing, and you can override that, and it's actually toggling this function, this method. So whenever you toggle this function gets called. So what we want to do first is we want to first call super.setEditing. So anything that's being edited, we want to propagate that. All right. Now, once we have done this, now what we need to do is we need to do a few things. First of all, we need to allow multiple selection for multiple cell selection into our collection view. At this point, if you notice, we only have single cell selection, and that cell selection takes us into the detail page. Now we want to stop that, and we want to allow our user to be in multi-select state. So let's do that first. So collection view dot allow multiple selection is equal to editing. So depending upon what editing state you are in, it's gonna allow the multiple selection. Now you're not just gonna see this yet because there's one important change that we need to make in our custom cell. So in our custom cell, if you remember, we have added the select label. Now select label does not have a way to show itself. We have hidden it, and we have an opportunity to basically every single time when we go back into our set editing, and we actually toggle its hidden state here, or we can handle it in a little bit more modular way or self-contained, like functionality way. Is this basically this pattern is sort of like MVVM, and I have a course coming up on MVVM where we're gonna actually discuss how the entire MVVM process takes, and we're gonna build a whole bunch of apps to learn and cement those concepts. But this sort of falls into the same. It's not quite that, but it's basically containing your feature functionality related to that field into that particular class. Okay, so that's what it is. Okay, so we can create is editing a new property. It's going to be of type boolean. Default value is going to be false. Okay, so it's not going to be editing when we actually enter the state. Then we're going to say did set, and we're going to put an observer did set. Whenever this is set, we're going to say whatever is hidden is just do opposite of is editing. That way, whatever you're doing, if it's editing, it's true, then hidden, the label shouldn't be hidden. If it's editing false, the label should be hidden. Okay. So with that change, we are ready to go back and tackle our toggle functionality. So what we're going to do here is we can simply say collection view, and we want to get, like, basically index path for all the cells that are there, that have been that are visible. So we can simply say, actually, this one, but yeah, collection view dot index path for visible items. Okay, dot for each, so you can do for each into it, and this gives you a index path. Right, and what you simply can do is you say cell is equal to collection view dot cell for item at index path, and basically cast it as custom cell. Then they say cell dot is editing is equal to editing. Okay, so this is going to basically talk editing state on and off. So this is good, but there is an issue that we're gonna see it right here. So let me show you. So as soon as I click the edit, all these cells have this. That label is gone once again. Okay, so let's go ahead and scroll this. And if you notice, none of these have it, and some of these have it, and none of these have it, and sometimes some of these have it. Okay, and those who had it, they no longer have it. Okay, so that is really weird. Okay, so what's going on here? Well, we we did set for the editing property for all the visible cells, but we didn't account for those cells that are being recreated or created new. So basically dequeued and being set. So we didn't account for any of those changes. So what we need to do basically is we need to go into our cell for item at index path, and right here we're gonna say cell dot, indentation is wrong, so let me fix that. Cell dot is editing is equal to is editing. Now this is editing is basically the view controller level property that is defined at view controller, but it actually gives you the editing state. So now if we run this again, you're gonna notice that we actually get a much better expected experience. So all of our cells that are in editing state, they are in editing state. If we press done, whoa, okay. So I see a bug. All right, you see a bug? Okay, let's take a look at it again. Okay, so if you click done, there are some cells. There were some, I don't know if you noticed, but there were some cells that had, like, the selection thing was still on, and it was still basically showing that selection circle. Okay, so we okay. So let me see if I can do this again. So if I do this, there we go. So if you have these three that have the selection is still on, so that is not good. So let's go ahead and check it out. So collectionview.index path for visible items. Okay, so So we have index path for visible items, and we have index path for selected items for visible supplemented views. Okay, there's something going on here. Let me do this. Let's put this um, on a back burner, and I'm gonna actually debug the issue and find out. But this is actually totally unexpected. It shouldn't happen because when we are entering the edit mode and when we are coming out of the edit mode, at that point it should actually just reset. Um, well, like reset um, every single cell. So it's only doing it for the visible, that I understand. But as soon as you deselect, um, it should update that. But it should update for all the other. Wait a minute. Okay. So select. Look at that. And some of these are not even getting selected. Okay. So I'll debug this issue. And but I guess you get the point. Like how to make your screen toggle. So screen toggle for the select and deselect. So that is good for this video. We gonna handle actually we're gonna handle one more thing. So if you notice, even if you're in edit mode, if you click on one of these cells, it actually goes into the detail mode. So that's something that we don't want to do. So what we can simply do is wherever we have a did select item, there we gonna say if it is editing. So if not is editing, so if it's not in the editing mode, then do all this. Okay, so this way basically what happens is when it's not in editing mode, then it actually so when it's not in editing mode, it doesn't go anywhere. It just stays on the same screen. But as soon as it moves out of the editing mode, it can actually work as usual for the selections. All right, cool. So this is it for this video, and in the next video, we're gonna see. Basically, we're gonna first debug that issue, and we also gonna see how to show the checkbox and make multi-selection work. Okay, so thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.